Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm with my buddy John. We're here to review the series. We're to do the series review of the IT crowd or the IT crowd. John kept saying it's supposed to be IT crowd.
Words, like the IT crowd, but it's IT crowd.
Yeah, IT crowd.
The title's playing on that. It's a good British comedy. Came out a while ago, but it's available on Netflix, and it starts off with this lady Jen goes for an interview at this big company, Random Industries. Now, one of the things is during the whole series, they never once mentioned what they do, like what they manufacture. Yeah. And like she's interviewing with the head of the company, Mr. Redham, and he says, "Oh, I see you know computers. I'm going to put you in the IT department." And she's like,
"Yeah,
oh, yeah." She lied in her resume. She knew something about a lot about computers, which she didn't. So she gets stuck being in charge of these two misfits that work in the IT department. It's really funny.
Yeah, I love the show. I never heard of the show before. And then John said, "You gotta see it." And then we started watching whenever we get some food and stuff like that. We watch something lighthearted or comedic when we're eating and stuff like that before we watch the regular movie that you had, you know. And we seen on the episode, and then he was saying like season 5 was just 1 hour long episode, like a goodbye episode.
Right.
And I immediately thought about My Name is Earl, a show I loved that was a long time ago. And they had like, Timothy said they had like an investigative report episode, like a season finale for the last season, and they left on a cliffhanger saying like, who was Crabman's baby or who's the Crabman's baby's father or something like that. I can't remember. And then they canceled the show. They never finished that. And they were talking about finishing the episode. That would have been cool if NBC would have had like, you know, they have like saying like they said, special My Name is Earl, just finishing out the storyline for the fans of the show, you know. Like I think that's what happened with this one. They came back for 15 to do like a final hour-long wrap-up of the show. And that would have been really cool if they would have done that.
I told Jason the other thing I heard about.
Yeah.
Jason Lee was saying they wanted to do a Jay and Silent Bob episode of My Name's Earl, but the network wouldn't allow them because it was going to be where, you know, those guys were stealing from Jay and Silent Bob from their marijuana stash.
Yeah.
And so now they're trying to make this whole episode would be trying to make amends to those guys, which would have been great, especially if Kevin directed it too. But back to IT crowd. I heard from a couple of coworkers. They said, "Oh man, it's hysterical," and you know, one of the running gags is the one guy, Roy, is always saying. First thing he says, "Well, have you tried turning it off and on again?"
Yeah.
Because, you know, that is something, and sometimes that is something that will cure a computer program. Like at work, one of the things I do is make commercials, and I do the editing, not usually the shooting, unless it's in the studio. And sometimes if, like, the person that shares my computer during the day does a lot of editing, you know, stuff can build up, chunks of data in the RAM, and sometimes you got to flush out that RAM, otherwise it might run kind of slow and choppy. So rebooting it, so if it's running choppy for me, seems to clear up the issue. Just, you know, turning it off and on. It's like a running gag. And then like one of my favorite lines, Roy says, "People, what a bunch of bastards."
Yeah. I love it. I love the show. It's really funny. I was also thinking when John said that they won't let him do the Jay and Silent Bob, because I remember, I think ABC was doing the Clerks animated series, remember? They only had like 6 episodes. That flopped hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny, though. I think Jason Mewes loved the show. He laughed his butt off.
All right.
But maybe that's, I don't know.
I just didn't think they wanted to do, I think the network wanted to do a marijuana episode.
Yeah, that's true, too. Yeah.
At that time period. Today, they probably would.
Yeah.
Well, the IT crowd, it's a lot of laughs. It's definitely worth checking out, especially like British comedies and stuff.
Oh, yeah, the British comedies.
And if you're a real nerd, much more than I am, there's a lot of references in like the background of Roy and Moss's office, you know, where a lot of background nerd stuff. Some things I picked up on, but there's stuff that I don't know about. But
that's probably really
references.
Yeah,
if you're
it's
really
brilliant.
Geeky computers and video games and anime and all that stuff. But it's just a trip. It's only a half hour. 8 seasons, only a handful of episodes.
Yeah, only a handful. But it was cool. And then you know, because just like with The Office, they tried to do American version. John said, I mean, it flopped. There was like a pilot episode, that was it.
Surprised me. Yeah, Joe McHale played Roy. I guess I never seen it, but
Yeah.
and he's funny. I left him in Community.
Yeah.
He's even in Stargirl, making some cameos, and he's fun. And then they had the same guy played Moss play him in the American version.
Oh,
and I don't
cool.
know, the American writers, I don't think they just couldn't pull it off. Well, and that happens a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's rare to get something like The Office,
Yeah.
which is a successful remake.
Yeah, well, they tweaked that some, and it was just perfect, you know, the way it was.
The first season, I think if I remember, they had Michael as more of an asshole, but then they toned him down starting the second season. But I've never really watched the British version of The Office yet. So yeah, sometimes the remakes just don't go over well. And sometimes you wonder, why are they doing a remake? Like, what was it? Death at a Funeral was a really funny British show. And then they did like an American remake like a year or two later. I'm like, why? The original one, I can't remember who all was in it except for Alan Tudyk. He was an American. He was hysterical, a guy from Firefly, and he was a pilot in that. He was a pirate in Dodgeball, and then I think the remake had Chris Rock, if I remember correctly. Like I said, I never saw it, and I forget who else was in it.
I think my sister and Roland went to see that one.
And
I
I
never
think
saw
it was supposed to be good. A remake.
Yeah, I never seen it, but my sister and Roland went to see it.
It's like, really? You're doing an American remake?
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be remade.
Yeah. Sometimes it works, sometimes they don't. I mean, you know, that's the... Because I mean, if I do see the American version, the pilot version on YouTube, it might be on there.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. I watched that Radar Rally spin-off show. I can't remember what I just reviewed it. Maybe it was called Radar, maybe it was called Gary. I don't know. Can't remember. For life of me, I can't remember. And it's weird because they wiped out his whole backstory with all his tragic stuff. He lost his parents, and there was like a laugh track behind it. I was like, that's just not funny. It was a really strange show. Did you watch that episode, or did I send you it for?
You might, but I don't think I ever got around to watching it.
I mean, it's interesting to see how his career progressed, but they killed off his backstory, though. That's not a spoiler. That happened right at the very beginning, but it's a curiosity piece. That's why I like to see the IT crowd as a curiosity piece. You know,
it's hysterical.
Yeah,
it's definitely worth watching. You want a good laugh.
Because they said like that Gary was like shown and then canceled right away. Because Aftermath was on for like 2 seasons or something like that. Yeah, that was received better than that show was. But
I think the most successful was Trapper John MD.
Yeah, Trapper John MD. Yeah,
but with a different.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was way different. Yeah. And then this something we could watch next Friday. That Red Notice. I definitely want to watch that. That'd be fun. Possibly. And then The Rock said that announced that he said on the thing his sets will no longer be real guns used, just rubber guns with special effects used for the shooting.
Well, and there's no reason, I think, to really use guns. You can just shoot blanks. And I'm someone that has a bunch of guns. There's no reason to, not in today's day and age with it. I mean, you can make good prop guns and good effects.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, when you go out shooting, you don't see a barrel flash that often.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to really digitize the barrel flash.
Yeah.
And the actors got to hack more. Like, you can go to a range, go to a place set up to practice shooting so you can get a feel, like, different calibers. Like my 44 Magnum kicks like a motherfucker compared to my 9mm. So you want to, I can see going to a range and practicing where it's set up properly, but then don't take the live guns, just use prop guns.
Yeah.
And they can be mechanical prop guns. I don't know, like maybe there's some type of piston or something that pushes against the back, so when you shoot it goes like that. Or something you can make.
Yeah.
I mean, prop people are pretty clever people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever watched Mythbusters, those guys made a full size, took a regular car and made it remote control.
Yeah.
So if you do that, you could engineer something to help with the acting to give a little kick.
Yeah, it would. I mean, and then they answered how. I mean, because someone asked, they said, "Well, how the heck did that direct photographer get shot? You one of the actors." And they said what happened was they said that the scene where he aimed the gun right at the camera, and they shot it, and that's how she got shot. But there's no footage of that happening now.
All right.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I figured I could edit this out, put in like
And
our
she
thoughts
doesn't
about
know,
what happened. Yeah.
It sounded like she knew what the hell she was even doing.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about, Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
walked off the once.
Yeah, that's not the director of cinematography, but the armory person.
Yeah, the armory.
Yeah, she was. I mean, yeah. She said she was nervous loading the blanks and the reel, and it's like I was shooting on a podcast announcing that. It's like, damn. And then like the Nicolas Cage, Nicolas Cage said, "Will you next time you shoot off a weapon, let me know. I usually blew my eardrums out." Yeah, and he was pissed.
Yeah, they just stop using ammo.
Yeah.
There's no reason to. Even blanks.
Yeah.
Like there's a one actor. If people don't realize there's a bunch of pressure when you fire off a blank out of an action because it's like a regular bullet without the head.
That's why
you use those in the army, right?
Yeah, we had a flash suppressor. Yeah.
Because there's pressure coming out, and like the one actor, I forget his name now, what show he was on, he was fucking around with the gun head blanks. Pulled the trigger.
Oh, dude, that's stupid.
Yeah, you don't remember that from the 70s, late 70s, early 80s?
I think so. Yeah.
Caused brain damage, and he was in life support for a while, and I think they finally took him off.
Yeah, that's why we have the flash suppressors. I mean, you can buy that for like 20. I mean, they're not going to show it on the Western show. I mean, but there's no reason to do that anymore.
Yeah, like my Russian SKS has this flash suppressor.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we got.
Yeah, well, that'd be good. I can edit this out, put it in a separate video, then leave that in for the review too.
Yep.
So I mean, so that's our thoughts about what The Rock said regarding the Alec Baldwin incident on the set of Rust, which is also part of the review of the show. But I mean, I liked the IT crowd. See, I got me saying it crowd.
Well,
I think the show's
it's
wonderful.
Meant to be that way.
Oh, okay.
The IT crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's a play on that phrase, Hey, we're part of the IT crowd.
Oh, okay, cool.
Cause
I keep thinking of it as the Stephen King it. Yeah. Yeah,
well,
but that's cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Crowd.
Oh yeah.
It's a play off of that.
Yeah, I like the show, but if I definitely want to see. I definitely want to check out the American versions, though. I mean, because they have to. I mean, it'll be okay. I mean, just a quick episode, just like I can say, if I find a Gary Berghoff thing, I'll send it to you. I mean, it's a curiosity. It's worth watching once.
Right.
It doesn't fit in with MASH, but it's a curiosity. It's different.
Well, it's kind of funny because he said they changed some things up.
And Victoria Jackson, and being Victoria Jackson, was really weird for a MASH show.
I was watching. I kind of put it off. I don't know if I would be interested in watching Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
And it's good, but they kind of changed things a little bit because it's a spinoff of Supergirl.
No.
Using the same actor and actress from Supergirl. But it's really, really well written.
Oh,
really
cool.
good show. But they did change some stuff from Supergirl. And I'm like, well, did you really have to alter anything?
Oh, wow. Well, that reminded me of Lois. See, I'm going off tangent now and a thing. I remember Dad bought everybody in second grade, the babysitters watched us, me and my sister. He bought everyone they have the paperback to have comic strips and stuff like that. I think he bought my sister Peanuts one. He bought our babysitter Andy Cap. And he bought me Hi and Lois. By the time, for the longest time, I kept calling Hi and Lewis. I didn't know it was pronounced Lois, and I said Lois. Now I say it all the time. So I was like, what if they did instead of Lois and Clark? What if they did Hi and Lois? That'd be kind of funny. So that was my thing. That's our rambling review of the IT crowd. So I hope you like this review of mine. Till next time, please take care, my legion.